If you take a good look at this Lego brick, you will see that it consists of a rectangular solid and six small cylinders. So we're going to look at the steps involved in creating this Lego brick using Fusion 360. So let's get started. All right, just like we did in the previous video. So we are going to start by going to create sketch. So you click on create sketch. When you click on create sketch, you'll be shown three planes. We have the front plane, we have the bottom plane, and we have the side plane. So because I want to create this Lego brick from the base, and the base shape is a rectangle. So I'm going to be drawing a rectangle on the bottom plane. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to select the bottom plane. Then I will draw my rectangle. So this point is the origin of the drawing sheet. So I'm going to draw my rectangle. I'm going to make sure that this rectangle is proportional to give me the shape I want. Okay, I'm okay with this. So I've been able to draw my rectangle. Then the next step I'm going to take is I'm going to click on finish sketch. So with finish sketch, I can convert my rectangle to 3D. So I click on finish sketch. Now I can use extrude, just like we did in the previous exercise, to convert this rectangle to 3D model. I can drag it upwards. So I'm not working to dimension. So I'm not considering the dimension. I'm only trying to make sure I have something realistic. Okay, something realistic based on the model I want. Okay, I think I'm okay with this. I'll click OK. All right, so now we have been able to draw the base, which is rectangular. The next step is for us to draw the six cylinders, the six small cylinders. So to do that, we'll come to sketch again, create sketch. I want to create this sketch on this plane. So this is going to be the position of the sketch. So I'm going to be selecting this plane. The next step I'll be taking is I'm going to be drawing my circle. So I'm going to go to circle and I'm going to draw my circle. Okay, I need six circles. So yes, I've drawn the first circle. So to get other copies of the circle, I'm going to be using copy tool. So here I have move and copy. I can drag this from the top. I can drag it to a better position. Now I'm going to select the circle that I want to copy. Then I'm going to click on create copy so that it can make copies of it. Then I can drag for the second circle. I can drag to position for the second circle. Okay, let me drag it a little bit. Okay. All right. Copy again. Select the object I want to copy. Click on create copy. Then I can make another copy. I can make another copy. All right. Okay. So I think I'm okay with this. Now at this point, after drawing my three circles, I notice my three circles are more positioned to this end more than this end. So I would like to make a little adjustment by shifting the circles a little bit towards this end. So to do that, I'll be using move. So move is under modify. So I'll click on modify, move. Then I will select the three circles at a go. Now with the help of this arrow, I can drag it a little bit. Okay, you can see when I'm dragging it a little bit, it's moving in the x distance. It's moving in the x distance at interval of 10. So I only want it to have just a little movement. So I'm going to change this x distance to tell it to move just maybe 3 millimeters. Okay. Okay, all right. By moving 3 millimeters, I'm able to move in the x direction 3 millimeters, and that gives me the position I want. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make another copy of this circle. So modify again, copy, select the three circles again. Then I'm going to click on create copy because now I'm making copies and not move. So then now I'm moving in the y direction. So you can see I'm moving upward in the y direction. So I'm going to make use of this arrow to drag. Okay. All right. So now we have our three circles, which we are going to convert to a cylinder in a moment. So to do that, to convert it to a cylinder, I'll click on finish sketch. Then using extrude again, I'm going to select the inside of the three of the six circles. Then I'll drag upwards a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, I'm okay with 10 millimeters. Then accept. Okay, now you can see what I have. So now you can orbit, you can pan. By clicking on pan, you can drag to reposition. You can use orbit to turn the view, of, yes, our Lego brick. So you can see the Lego brick that we are creating. So I press escape on my keyboard to cancel the orbit. So if you want to reposition your Lego brick the way it was before, just come to this view cube and click on home. Click on this home icon. So clicking on this home icon will reposition your design. So just in case you have used orbit and you want to come back to the original position, come to home and click on home to reposition your design. All right, so I've been able to do that. If you are making use of your mouse, you can use your mouse wheel to pan and to zoom. So now I'm zooming with my mouse. So if you are making use of a mouse, you can use your mouse to zoom at any point. You can also use your mouse to pan by dragging the wheel of the mouse. All right, now we are just about finishing our Lego brick design. So the final task for this Lego brick design is I want the base of the Lego brick design to have an hollow, the base. So to turn to the base, I'll use orbit. So I'm using orbit now to turn the Lego brick to the bottom. All right. I'll press escape on my keyboard to cancel orbit. Now I want to create an hollow on the base. So I'm going to select the base. Now I will draw a rectangle. Click on finish sketch. Then I'm going to use extrude. Remember, we can use extrude to create a solid and also to create an hollow. So now with my extrude, now I want to create a hollow. If I want to create a solid, I'll drag outward, but because I want to create a hollow, I'm going to drag inwards. Okay, I'm going to drag inward. Okay, I think I'm okay with this. I don't want the hollow to come through the surface, so I'm okay with this distance. Then I'm going to click on accept. I'm going to click on OK to accept that changes. All right, so using orbit again, now I can see my Lego brick has an hollow. My Lego brick has hollow. It has hollow at the base. Then at the top, it has the 6 cylinders. So this is what I want. All right, so this is good. I'll press escape to terminate my orbit tool. Escape on my keyboard to terminate the orbit tool. So now this looks good for me. So to give this model a final touch, I'm going to be using another tool on the modify called a fillet. So a fillet is going to add a round corner to the edges. So I'm going to select this round corner. Then I'm going to change my fillet radius here from 0. I'm going to change it to 2. Okay, so by changing it to 2, I can see that I have a nice round corner. So I'm going to select OK. So you can see this nice round corner that we have. Yeah, that's called a fillet. So I'm going to do the same for every other edges. Okay. So fillet. So by using fillet, I'm giving it a nice round so that it's not sharp. I don't want the edges of my design to be sharp. So I'm going to be using fillet to make sure, yeah, I'm not having a round edge. So I'm using 2. You can use any fillet radius that works fine for you. You don't have to use 2. So I'm changing this to 2. Okay. All right. Okay. So now you can see what my fillet has done. It has helped me to have a round corner on the edges. So fillet. So change the fillet radius to 2. Then OK. All right. So I want to change the view of my cube. You can go to your view cube and choose a corner to inspect to be sure that you have done fillet everywhere. Okay, I can see I've done fillet everywhere. I'm going to reposition my Lego brick by going to home, click on home, all right, to reposition. Now we have a very good Lego brick design. You can see our Lego brick, it has hollow at the base, it has a hollow at the base, and at the top it has 6 cylinders. All right, so we are done creating our Lego brick. I hope you have learned one or two steps in Fusion doing this. All right, so if you have learned one or two things, kindly like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos. Thank you.